to Shine Bright with Sabrina, and I am your host, Sabrina Shine Williams. Today, we have the opportunity to speak to the incredible Mrs. Gloria Reed Austin. She is the co-founder and executive director of the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum and the Hall of Fame, formerly known as the Cowboys of Color Museum. She co-founded this museum with her husband, Jim Austin, in February of 2001. The museum is a 501c3 organization, and I've had the pleasure of interviewing her husband and getting his perspective on things and all the things that he touched. But I wanted to talk to Miss Gloria Reed Austin and get her perspective, because she is the one with the days to day hands-on operation of the museum. And I say that it is her baby that she takes care of. Is it fair to say this is your baby, Gloria?
That would be a good description. Yes.
Okay, good, 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 good. So Gloria, I want you to introduce yourself to my audience and tell them, who is Miss Gloria Reed Austin?
Thank you so very much. I'm very excited about talking with you today and sharing information about the museum. I consider myself a caregiver of a great part of our American history, and that is the story of forgotten cowboys, forgotten women, men, women, children who lived on the frontier and helped to settle the early American West. So I am a caregiver of American history.
Nice, nice, nice. So let me ask you a question. What is one fun thing that you would like for my audience to know about you?
I love movies. I love going to the movies, and I like
Okay.
many different genres of movies. Everything except horror. I don't like horror, and but everything else is pretty open, okay.
Okay. So on that note, what is your favorite movie? One of the top three, or
One
it
of the
could be
top
three.
three would be To Kill a Mockingbird, and that will be from an older genre. And then I also love Tombstone, which would be from a Western genre. And then, of course, like everyone else, I love The Color Purple. Probably the first one was my favorite.
Yes, 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 yes. So you have a mixture of movies that you like.
Yes, yes. I love movies because they're an opportunity to tell stories. My favorite type of movies, though, are probably biographical type of movies or docudramas, where we know that they have added a little bit for the entertainment or to fill in the gaps of unknown history, but perhaps they will pique people's interest to research further. And that brings us to our museum, and that's our goal as well, is to pique the interest to go out and do your own research on these facts that are not normally told in our textbooks in our school systems.
Okay. So great, great. I'm glad you said that. Tell us more about the museum, the vision, the history. Just tell us about the museum.
All right, thank you. Well, the museum was founded in 2001 by, as you stated earlier, my husband Jim and myself, and it was born out of a desire to empower and enrich the lives of young people and their families, to help them feel and more included in particularly Texas, which is where we're based, but across the world to know more about their legacy. We know that the American cowboy is a folklore type of story that is loved beyond all around the world. And unfortunately, most people get their history from watching movies. And that is just kind of the viewpoint of whoever the director is or whatever studio is making it. And of course, in the early days, it was even smaller group of people. Now you have many visionaries who are able to do independent films, but initially that's not the way that it was. So when I'm speaking more about those early movie days when it was maybe three men in a room deciding what story we were going to tell. So there were so many people that were left out of it, or they were depicted in a way that's not so complimentary. So while we see those movies, we know that the history books journals, paintings from well-noted artists, journaling what was really happening on the American Western frontier. We had the Buffalo Soldiers who were helping to settle the Western United States. You had frontier women who came out and did their part, being nurses and cooking, bearing the children of the future generation. And in their writing, in the women's writings, in their journals, in their letters back home, they were telling what city life was like or what town life. There wasn't any cities yet. And in there, they were very descriptive of the people who they were coming across. There were many people who were escaped slaves, or maybe there were freed people who were just looking for a better way of life. So we think that it's important that these unknown stories be brought together and taught in our school books, in our communities, that history is important to be told, to be remembered, to be respected. Because look at where we are today and where they were then. So it's not anything that should be swept under the rug. There's no need to change it up. It's not about making anyone feel bad. It's just recounting what actually happened and actually looking at the strength that all of the individuals of every denomination and background and culture had to even have people to come after them. Those folks in those early days, everyone had a really tough time. You know, the movies, it's romanticized, and I'm grateful I was born then. That was a hard, very hard life.
That's funny because I think the same thing. I was like, Lord, if I was born back then, would I have made it?
That's a good question to ask because there weren't doctors and hospitals. Penicillin hadn't even been invented. So many of the drugs that we count on or we call old fashioned now, they weren't even invented. There were no orphanages. So just think about the children who, if a cholera or smallpox or something like that broke out in a town, wiped out the parents. There was no orphanages and the things that we take for granted now. No turn on the switch and there's the light, no matches. Just remember before there were even matches created, you had to know how to use the flint and start the fire. So it was a hard, tough life. And because of that, I think the contributions of all of those people deserve to be remembered and used as a touchstone for us to know that it's about who you are inside and your determination in the face of whatever that you are facing. That if you keep the mindset that I can make it through this, you can do it.
Let's see, I completely agree with you. I'm sitting over here practicing with you on this particular one, trying to get it right. Um, so that people can see both of us when we're talking, or at least see you. You mentioned some things that I didn't even think about. And I'm sure other people haven't really thought about when you mentioned the fact that back then there were no orphanage, and there was no all of these great medicines that we have right now to help us. They had to use a lot of natural medication to help them fight different things. And whoo, yeah, those were some tough women and men back in those days.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
They were very tough. So tell us about some of the exhibits in the museum, and then tell us your favorite exhibit and why.
That's like asking me to pick my favorite child.
Yes, yes, do it. You can do it.
No,
It's like, I have none. I have none. I love them all equally.
I love them all equally. They're so special. They're so special. But we have exhibits that cover Native American history, the Hispanic American history, such as the Vaqueros and the Escaramuza. We have exhibits that cover Black cowboys, Asian cowboys, European or white cowboys, rodeo cowboys. We have exhibits that cover the Buffalo Soldiers and the Tuskegee Airmen. And we have a newly installed information about Bass Reeves, who is someone that a lot of people are talking about now. There's a lot of movies and documentaries and series that are coming on about Bass Reeves. And, we have been talking about Bass Reeves for many years before now. So I'm excited that they're doing it and everybody's telling it from their point of view. But I kind of chuckle and giggle to myself about how long ago we were talking about Bass Reeves, and trying to get people to acknowledge him in a greater light. One of our new museum board members and our museum historian, Art Burton, is a noted author on Western history and culture, and he is really a historian, a retired college professor, and he has written a book on Bass Reeves that is still available, and he will be coming to speak at our Western Heritage Symposium in July of 2024, and that will be a part of our Hall of Fame induction program. So that is an opportunity for us to expand our knowledge on different people in our museum. And this year we'll be talking about Bass Reeves. So if you're going to make me choose one, I'll say this at this point right now, it would be the information about Bass Reeves, that he's finally getting his due. So I'm a proud mother. Since you said the museum is my baby, so I'm a proud mother that a part of the history that we talked about early on, Bass Reeves, is finally being widely talked about. So I'm excited about that.
So let me ask you a question as a proud mother. What is one thing about Bass Reeves you would tell people that you find interesting, whether somebody else has already said it in the movie or not? But what's something, since you guys have been talking about him for years and
Uh-huh.
a lot of us are just learning about Bass Reeves, what is something that you find fascinating or that you would just like to share with the world?
That he was a man of great tenacity. He was very creative in his approach. He thought about using disguises to be able to get close to the subject at hand, which would be apprehending someone that the law had decreed needed to be brought in. There wasn't really any role models to look at to see. He is the role model from which many lawmen and movies have scripted after using disguise. So just think, he was able to come into character. Perhaps he was pretending to be a person who was inebriated and sitting somewhere with his head down, with his hat down, pretending to be asleep, but he was looking for an individual. That takes some creative thought.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Especially
changing, yeah.
like you
Putting on
said,
the
he didn't
disguise.
have anybody else to. This is something creative that he realized, okay, how do I get my
Yes,
man or my woman?
yes.
What do I need to
And
do?
that is one of the things that has intrigued me about many people that I have learned about in the years that I've been working with the museum, is how creative so many of the early pioneers were, how they really used their mind to overcome the obstacles, hand making items, creating items, not going to the store or going online and ordering something up.
From Amazon, smile from Amazon.
Yes. And not giving up, not just crawling in a hole or somewhere and just saying, oh, that's it. And a
Yeah,
lot of them really had cause for that. I mean, when you think about it, no
yeah,
one to help you, everything hard. You have to think of everything on your own. That
yeah,
took a lot of true grit. And
yes,
that's something that I think I want to possess always. And I want to encourage other people to take hold of yourself and not let what's happening around you overcome you where you can't use the mind that God has given you. That if you stay focused on the one who can give you that creativity, who can provide provision, but that needs you to be willing and to have faith and keep your mind open so that the thoughts can be given to you.
Now you see, you don't preach the word right there. That was so good. That was so good. Just what you've said to make us think about the experiences that other people have gone through and experiences that have been completely lost, but your museum is doing its part to just try to preserve that history so other people will know, hey, this is going on. This is going on.
Yeah.
So tell us where you're located. Where's the museum located?
We are located in Tarrant County in the city of Fort Worth, right on the border of Fort Worth and Arlington. We're just south of I-30 at East Chase is the exit, and you will go south on East Chase. East Chase turns into Dottie Lynn, which is the street the museum is located on. 2201 Dottie Lynn Parkway. And we're in suite number 115. And our zip code to help you with your GPS is 76120.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that's 2201 Dottie
Lynn
Lynn
Parkway.
Parkway,
Yes. Suite 115.
Suite
Zip,
115.
yes, 76120 is our zip code. And the phone number to the museum is area code 817-534-8801. 817-534-8801.
Great. So now, everybody that's listening, when you want to know some more information and want to come by and visit, make sure you call and get time to be able to set up time to come in. How can people, what are some ways that people can actually support the museum?
Well, we have several ways that they can support the museum. One being through what you just mentioned, their admission to the museum, coming and visiting the museum, telling others about coming, setting up family reunions or your group gatherings, inviting your schools to make group reservations. So that is one way. A second way is through membership to the museum. And we have many different levels of membership, all the way from student membership to adult, senior citizen, military, family memberships, nonprofit organization memberships, and then corporate memberships. So that is the second way that you can. The third way would be participating in any of our fundraising projects that we use to be able to present our educational programs to our young people and to families, and just to support the museum's general operations. One of the fascinating ones that I think is really a great one is our 100 people for $1,000. And we're asking for people to consider donating $1,000 over the course of 2024. You can make a one-time donation, or you can make it quarterly or monthly, whichever installment that is best for you. We're looking for 100 people to come forth and to support the museum in that way. We also take just general donations year-round from individuals who have a heart and have a desire to help our project grow and sustain. You can make your donations through our museum website, and you can make them by mailing a check, or you can make them by coming by the museum and bringing your donation to us.
So, what is the website in case we want to make a donation or give to one of the funds?
Okay.
Website.
All right. www, of course, NMWHM.org, and that's for National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum, the acronyms, NMWHM.org. Or if you want to make it short and snazzy, you can just put in cowboysofcolor.org. Either one of those will work.
It's like, okay, either remember Cowboys of Color or NMWHM
.org.
.org.
Yes,
And
because we are a
also, I'll
nonprofit.
say that one last part again.
We are a nonprofit organization, a 501c3, and so your taxes can be deducted. It's a taxable deduction.
Okay, so all donations are a taxable deduction.
Mhm.
Talk to your accountant on that part of it. We'll just
Yes,
they'll give you the receipt and you
yes,
turn it in.
yes, and they can let
Okay.
you know in what way. But anything that you are donating and not receiving goods or services for, you usually can use it as a deduction. And so we always want to let people know we appreciate that and appreciate being your donation of choice. And if you happen to work for a company that does matching, we really encourage you to do that. And just can ask your HR, do you all match donations? And so your donation can immediately double. And we do have individuals who have made their donations that way. And we really appreciate it. It makes our museum operation go so much further, helps us to outreach in an even greater way. We appreciate it very much.
Okay. And I will make sure that I put all the details in the show notes because
Yeah.
some of us can't write that fast or don't
I
remember.
I am all of that.
That's me. So that's why I'm saying
Um,
it. I will have the notes in
I
there for
am all
anybody.
of that. I am all of that.
So
Yes,
we
I
talked
am.
about the fact that people can participate through admission, membership,
Mhm.
fundraising.
Yes.
Um,
I have another one I'd like to ask, and that is by becoming a volunteer. We are in need at our new location of volunteers. And what type of volunteers do we need, you might ask? We need individuals to be tour guides so that when we have groups of students or even groups of adults that come to visit the museum, you can help walk them through the museum exhibits. Or you can become a docent, and that is a person who learns more about the history of whatever the topic of the museum is. And with our topic being about Western history and culture, you would come and we would have workshops for our docents to be able to fully explain each one of our exhibits, and you wouldn't have to remember it all. We can give you little sheets with little notes on there. And so when a part of the group comes into your station, you would be able to explain to them about the exhibit items that are in there. So we need docents, and then we just need general volunteers who welcome people to the museum, who hand out brochures or whatever it is that we're handing out, who, if we're doing a registration project, they could check people in at the registration desk. So there is a place for you and your interest level. Or if you're a person who likes to work with the exhibits, we will have classes that teach you how to manage exhibits, how to care for them, and how to help preserve them. We will also be offering our youth the same opportunities as our adults. So we are in need of adult and youth volunteers.
ooh, that is interesting. So if I decide to volunteer, is there a minimum amount of time I have to volunteer? Like, is it I have to give 10 hours a week or what does that look like?
Well, actually, we have different levels for that too, because we know that we live in a society that's a 24-hour society and people are multitasking all over the place. So we have opportunities for each of those things that you just named. We have the opportunity for the volunteer who would like to have a dedicated day each week to come in, or a dedicated day each month to come in for a certain number of time. We have volunteer opportunities for just those special occasion type of individuals who they would let us know. We would send out the information if they would be available or not. So there is a place for everyone. The only thing that I would like for everyone to know is that if we are doing a program that is involving youth, you would have to be willing to have a background check done. And because that is just something that is a requirement when we are working with young people. Not so much when it's the adults type of situation, but when you're one of the volunteers who want to work with school groups, you do have to be willing to have that.
Thank you. From the bottom of my heart and everybody else that's listening, thank you. We want you to background check anybody that's going to be working with our babies.
Yes. Yes.
Um, do you all have a newsletter that we could possibly be a part of, or
Yes,
how
we
we can
do.
stay in touch with what's going on?
We certainly do. We have an e-newsletter, and we add all of the information, flyers about not only what the museum is offering, but many times programs that are happening in our communities that we think are family-friendly type of programming that would be beneficial for you to attend. Also, any fundraisers that organizations that are having that are benefiting the museum, and we encourage you to participate in those, as those are benefits for the museum. And then we have special dates that are coming up, special exhibits that we might be having, and so that you can stay up to date on the upcoming programs and mark your calendars accordingly. We don't want you to miss out on anything. And we also put information in there about scholarships for students who are looking to go off to college. If we hear about scholarships and information is sent to us, we include that in our newsletter as well. So we try to be a part of the tribe that is helping the community, the village. We do believe in the village effect, and we just want to be a part of that to help increase the quality of life for all of our citizens, not only in Fort Worth, but nationwide. And we do have people that visit us from all over the world, and it's very exciting.
That sounds like
Yeah,
fun.
we had some this morning that came from Europe, and they came to the museum. They heard about it, and it was on their list of things that they wanted to do. So
Oh,
people
that's
are really fascinated about what we are saying, and they just think it's a part of American history and culture that they want to know more about. So it's important, I think, that we try to survive. We are adding many more hybrid programs, and we're really appreciative to being on this podcast today and helping us to get the word out about the museum. So thank you so much for the invitation and introducing us to a new audience.
yes, that's my goal. I always want to bring on people that will illuminate what's going on in the community, and the opportunity for people to be able to learn something new and get some ideas. Because I believe when people listen to this podcast, they're going to be thinking, now where is that museum again? How do I get there? So I will make sure I put the links for the emails, for the phone number and the website in the show notes to make sure that you get that. And do I sign up for the newsletter on the website, or how do I sign
You
up for the
can.
newsletter?
You can sign up for the newsletter by going directly to our website, and under the contact content, you can sign up for the newsletter, or you can call the museum directly at 817-534-8801 and give your information over the phone, or you can email us. You can email me, gaustin@cowboysofcolor.org, and just put in there, sign up for museum newsletter. And we also have a texting platform that I can pull up and give you that information before we close off. And you can actually text. And I think that's pretty cool, because in that way, we are sure to get your information correctly. Sometimes we accidentally transcribe information wrong, and folks will go, well, I never got the newsletter and I signed up for it, but I never received it. So we decided to go with a text to join platform, and I will pull that information up. I can give it to you right now if you want me to. I think I've got it ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, you text the word join, JOIN, and your email address to 817-890-4813. 817-890-4813. And you text the word join and then your email address to that phone number.
Okay, that's great. See, look at you guys. You're up to date.
We're doing our very best to stay on par with what is happening and using all this technology that we have now to bring us all together.
Yes, technology has really changed,
It really has.
and it's a lot to learn. So I have a question for you.
Yes.
Um, if there was a piece of advice that you can give your younger self on
Mm.
how she can shine bright no matter what she goes through, what would that piece of advice be?
To keep my eyes on the one who can keep me from falling.
Woo! Another message, another message. Keep eyes on the one who can keep me from falling. Yes, I love that. I love that. I love that. So we are coming to the end of our interview. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners? Oh. I do want you to make sure you say something about the 20th anniversary of the Hall of Fame ceremony. So make sure you say something about that, please.
I want to say to our listeners that you are cordially invited to attend the museum's Hall of Fame 20th anniversary on this coming July the 27th, 2024. This will be the 20th celebration of induction into people into our Hall of Fame. It will be at the Worthington Hotel in downtown Fort Worth. On that morning, we will have our symposium featuring Art Burton, who will be talking about bass reefs and Western history and culture at the museum, which is located at 2201 Dottie Lynn Parkway, Suite 115, Fort Worth 76120. And then that evening, we will be having the induction beginning at 6 p.m. with our reception, followed by the induction banquet at the Worthington Hotel, which is located in beautiful downtown Fort Worth. We will be posting information about it on our website, and we will have hotel room accommodations there. We'll probably give you several different hotels that we have negotiated rates with. It's a great weekend to come to Fort Worth to plan your vacation, to come and spend Friday night at Cowtown Coliseum enjoying a rodeo, and then Saturday morning getting up and coming to the symposium and seeing the museum, and then the beautiful banquet that we will have at the Hall of Fame. So please send us your email so you can get on our invitation list, visit the website, call us at 817-534-8801. Feel comfortable in emailing me at gaustin@cowboysofcolor.org. We want you to come and be a part of our 20th anniversary. It's also going to be a reunion where we're anticipating many of our past Hall of Fame inductees, of which we have over 132, coming back to celebrate each other. And we're very proud because this year the committee decided that it was time to induct Jim and myself. So we're going to be inducted as well. And that feels strange. So used to being behind the scenes and working. So to have to be an honoree this year.
You deserve it. You
Oh,
deserve it just from
thank
what
you.
you said. I know you
Thank you.
deserve
I'm
it.
so thrilled. I'm so thrilled. And just appreciate the opportunity again to come on your podcast and speak with you, and to your viewing audience to say thank you for your support. Our museum is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. It is something that Jim, my husband, and I are caretakers of, but it is a community project, and we can only grow and do as much as the support that we receive from our community. And our community is worldwide. So whoever is watching this from across the world, whatever your contribution can be to the ongoing growth and development, we appreciate it. We appreciate you. Keep us in your thoughts and your prayers. Most of all, we know with God, all things are possible. And we give him all the praise and the glory for everything that he has done.
Thank you. I thank you so much for that. Now, let me just make sure, is there anything else you want to say before I let you go? I want to make sure that my listening audience has an opportunity to learn everything that you want them to know today, so we don't miss out on anything.
Come visit the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum, where you will learn about the Hispanic American, the African American, the Asian American, the Asian American women, men, women, and children, the frontier people, the Buffalo Soldiers, the Tuskegee Airmen, all of the people who helped to make positive contributions to our Western history and culture today. We honor those from the past, their legacy, and we encourage and honor those who are presently making our future better by holding on to the values of our forefathers.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you,
I just
Sabrina.
want to thank you for coming today and speaking with me, because this has been so important to learn more about the museum and to get your perspective on the museum, because I know that everybody has a different perspective. A mother sees a child different than a father, okay?
That's true. That's true. But
So,
you know, there's so many people who have helped. And I just want to say that one of from the very beginning, you never can forget you should not forget your roots. And I want to acknowledge my daughter, Dr. Tara C. Reed. She was instrumental in our museum becoming what it is today, with helping with the 501c3, the development of our first Cowboys of Color calendar, doing many of the flyers and press releases and all of those things that we did not yet have resources to source out. So I want to definitely always acknowledge her as a part of our history. So it has been a family project, and much time was given to it, labor of love. And we are grateful that she is still a part of the fabric of our museum and is on point to create a new calendar. So we've had some requests for doing calendars again. And so look forward to that. We've got some great things coming up. And with our Hall of Fame banquets, she's been just a great resource in coordinating those efforts. So we just want to shout her out too.
yay, yay. Shout out the sister of the
That's right.
museum.
That's right. That's right. My sister Rosemary Reed, who is the museum coordinator and volunteer program outreach, is another person who has been instrumental. And so these two women have held me up and have given up their time and resources and saw the vision and just gave me encouragement as they do every day. And so I definitely appreciate them. And when they see this, I want them to know that I love them and I admire them and just wouldn't be what it is, without their help and their encouragement and their prayers.
Great, great, great. Well, this has been another episode of Shine Bright with Sabrina, where we learn more about Mrs. Gloria Reed Austin and the museum. And if you are interested, of course, I'm going to put all the details in the show notes so you can be able to reach out to the museum and support the museum. If you've enjoyed the episode today, I want to make sure that you stay in touch, stay connected. Don't forget to subscribe. So whenever new episodes come out, you'll be able to be notified. And you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube under Sabrina Shine Williams. Everything is Sabrina Shine Williams. We are creating a community that sparks change and amplifies the voices of those who are out here making a difference. Thank you so much for being here today, Gloria. We appreciate you.
Thank you and much continued success on all of your projects.
Thank you.